Hello, guys and gals. Me, Mudahar, and God, I really hope this is the only take you're seeing because I had a fun, fast minute yelling into the microphone about dumb stuff. But to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, Netflix. So, I wanted to make a little final video onto this because, Netflix recently introduced password sharing crackdowns. Now, I understand everyone shares their passwords for streaming services. Not a single family member is buying their own Netflix accounts, okay? My Netflix account is shared between me, my brother, and my mom and dad, okay? Like the good Lord intended. The Brazzers account, me and my uncle dominate that, okay? We're screwing up the recommendations left and right. Hulu Plus, can't even enjoy that because I'm Canadian and we don't get access to the good stuff. HBO Max, don't even have that because I'm Canadian. You're getting a central idea here. Now, as a Canadian, Netflix is one of our chief primary streaming services. People share it around. And when you crack down on password sharing, it can really ruin the experience. Now, for those of you who are like, but Muda, I thought they backed off. That's true, they did. For Americans. But see, Americans, the world doesn't revolve around you. I mean, it kind of does, but generally the idea is for Canadians, I ended up getting the slap in the face. My brother actually texted me and was like, yo, what is going on here, Muda? Why is Netflix saying it's only for people who live in the same location? Everyone who lives at your primary location can use Netflix. So again, because there's people around my family that live in different places using my account, obviously I'm committing a grave sin in the eyes of Netflix. Now, it made me really wonder why the hell I even had the service again, considering I've canceled it a few too many times throughout my life. And literally, I've had this rolling over since Resident Evil. Remember when we watched that amazing Emmy Award-winning show? Actually, you should go watch it. If you've never seen the Resident Evil show, set aside some time for your life, sit down and watch it. I guarantee you'll walk out of it having never felt like you wasted your time. Absolutely banger show. But since then, Netflix has never made another banger. Literally, it's the Breaking Bad machine. I love Netflix for Family Guy. When I slap on a VPN and watch that shit through it. Which is one thing that made me wonder, okay? Obviously, for Netflix Canada, we literally don't have anything good on the service if you're watching exclusively from Canada. So I'm going to wager and say that 99% of the Canadian viewer base is literally watching through a VPN. And I feel like Netflix's password sharing crackdown nonsense has kind of like almost stabbed them in another way. Because what's the inherent point of a VPN, right? It's to make it look like you don't live in Canada, but you live in bumfuck Nebraska. Well, because you're obfuscating your IP and that's the one identifier, that kind of like slaps them right there too. Anytime they kind of like jump onto these bandwagons and crack down on passwords. Because you're ultimately cracking down on the whole subset of people that use VPNs anyways. Which is a whole different thing. So now, if one of your favorite YouTubers tells you, hey, get that VPN service, you get to unblock Netflix, liar! You don't, because you're lying from where you live. Anyways, it's a whole different point right there too. This is ultimately one of those things which inconveniences their service beyond any doubt. Now, again, I mentioned the ideas of sailing the seven seas and piracy, and while I don't condone piracy, piracy literally exists because services are so dog water. Last time we talked about it, I used Steam as an example. Russia, being one of the most piracy-loving countries in the world, actually ended up purchasing video games once Valve came in, priced games accordingly, and actually delivered games properly. It went from, hey, our PC games are loaded with DRM, it's impossible to find them other than, crazy Vlad's shop where he's printing CDRs in his basement. No, now we can just load up Steam service, download from Steam server, and play it with the people online. It literally became, and it reflected that way across the entire world too. Honestly, Netflix was kind of like that. For a while before Netflix, it was like, hey, do we go to Blockbuster and get a DVD? Or do we pay like $5 to goddamn Netflix and watch all the crappy shows at home? And now that you introduce a way to make your service inconvenient and locking out a subsect of your user base, I can only imagine actually losing subscribers to Netflix. And a lot of those people that normally would have just fired up Netflix anyways might just go to weird shady sites on the internet and watching content for free. I'm not condoning piracy, and I don't think it's okay. I think it's morally wrong. All right, that's what good. All right, that's the jot notes for that one out of the way. Anyways, but yeah, I think it's totally wrong. I think it's totally against the grain. But I can absolutely understand why some people have switched to it, especially when Netflix is coming out making their service as dog water to believe. Look, again, it really makes me wonder why I had the service. It all goes back to that banger, award-winning, kind of throws Breaking Bad off of its throne Resident Evil show. And honestly, if Netflix isn't going out of their way to make anything good, just cancel the service. If they're making their service literally annoying to use, just get rid of it. At the end of the day, there's so many other streaming services that exist. What Netflix doesn't realize is with their business model, constantly investing in like creating crappy original content, they conveniently forgot that, wow, in the year 2023, there would actually be like 9 other people we're competing with. Just use a competing service. That's it. That's all it comes down to. Now, I believe in things like digitally protesting this BS and nonsense. If Netflix wants to use my IP address as sort of an identifier, then I can easily look at projects like this where I can self-host a VPN. If you remember my Muda VPN video where I literally made a Mudahar private virtual network that was hosted in Google's cloud servers, then anybody could literally host their own virtual private network within their own local system on their own home computers and just route all of their internet traffic, no matter where they are, from their home computer. Which means that even if I'm traveling or I'm going somewhere, or like, let's say that I'm accessing my Netflix account from another household, I can easily use a VPN, like I can use my own VPN settings, I can use my own OpenVPN like projects, and just route all my traffic to my home computer all the way to Netflix, meaning that for Netflix, I'm still connected to the same IP anyways. Again, this takes like less than 30 minutes to set up if you know what you're doing, and again, it bypasses a lot of the issues that Netflix causes for the average person. Again, it's like the whole piracy argument. The only reason it gets so popular is because you've made your service annoying to use. People who know what they're doing can bypass whatever restriction you set up reasonably and live their life and abuse your service to the end of days. Nothing stops me from passing that VPN setting to the trusted people in my life so they can route their network traffic through my computer. Friendship ended with Netflix. Friendship begun with Plex. Anyways, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I'm out.